Thank you for coming here today. On behalf of myself, Carrie, and Deb from the Council on Aging, we wanted to provide you with some information on basically how the senior work-off program works and how the process is done and how you apply and the hours and how you're credited for your tax tax abatement. So this is the first time we're doing it. We're in a new building, a lot of opportunities here, and we have a lot of opportunities around the town. First thing, we just wanted to get like an idea of how many residents were interested in this program, because there is a set limit, but we'll go into that in detail. And this is just an informational purposes, and if you have any questions, you may ask them also at this time. If there's any kind of personal questions one-on-one, you can pull us off to the side and ask us one-on-one on some of the questions. So basically, what is the Massachusetts tax abatement? What is the senior work-off program? So basically what it is, the Massachusetts has some guidelines, and local towns can adopt them and alter them depending on the needs. But you basically will be working as a town employee. You have to go through the human resources, put in the necessary paperwork, Homeland Security, make sure that you're a resident of the Walpole, an owner of your home. So there are some guidelines to see if you qualify for the program. Thank you. And some of them right here is you have to be over the age of 60. You have to be an owner of your property in Walpole. And if it is in a trust, it can be in a trust, but you have to make sure that your name is on the trust in order to get the credit. Some trusts you may not be the beneficiary, or your name may not be on it, but you're still paying property taxes. But if your name is not on the trust, you do not qualify for the program. And a few years ago, that happened to be a problem with somebody, and unfortunately, they weren't able to get their property tax credit. So first thing we do is when somebody is applying, we make sure they're eligible for that. And we do so by going through the assessor's office and determining whether the property tax is being paid and that you are an owner and that you do qualify. And applying and meeting the criteria does not guarantee a placement in the program. Skills and qualifications of the applicants are considered, and participating departments for participation and placed in appropriate departments. So therefore, if we have a few that are in the accounting office that work in the accounting office, and they have accounting backgrounds. We try to place the applicant in the right department that they would benefit and the department would benefit, because you technically are becoming employees in such that you will be going through human resources. Chelsea over here, she'll have basically you'll fill out an application, you fill out your personal data sheets and your W-4, and there's a whole bunch of other forms. What's that? The OBRA. You actually be paying into OBRA, which is a retirement plan, right?
Yeah, so you have to have all the necessary paperwork, and you might not get the deductions taken out, but it's just for record-keeping purposes to show that you were doing a volunteer program. So oftentimes, I worked for the town of Norwood, so we had this very similar program, and oftentimes people would be like, I don't know what that is, so I'm just not going to do it, and then we have to chase you, and then you can't start. So if you do get a packet of paperwork, just fill it all out. If you have any questions, you can contact myself or any of these fine staff over here at the COA, but just don't. If you don't know what it is, don't think you don't have to fill it out. It's my best advice.
Right.
You probably do.
Probably. So like I said, so basically you're an employer. So the departments will interview you, make sure you're qualified for the position, and that they accept you. And they'll also notify us in the case of, yes, we'd love this person to work for us. The department will then determine the hours that you work and the days that you work, and you'll work with that department individually. But it is a job. It's not, they used to say volunteer program. You're technically not volunteering. You're actually employed. You're just not getting a paycheck. It's just coming directly off your property taxes. You are paying taxes. I don't know if that's on the slide next. So what is the benefit? So basically here in Walpole, like I said before, you can get up to $1,000 off your taxes, and it's currently set at whatever the state's minimum wage rate is. It keeps going up. Right now it's $12 an hour. I believe it's going to go up to $13 January 1st. So we basically are just staying with the same hourly minimum wage as the state requirement says. We don't have to, but we choose to do so. We could go by the federal guidelines, but we choose to go through the municipality. Sorry, not the municipality. The federal. Is it the federal? Yes. State. Sorry, state. But currently, like I said, it's $1,000, which roughly turns out to be 83.3 hours. And the towns and cities individually determine their own maximum benefit within the limits set by the state. So if the state limits is one thing, we basically go through the Board of Selectmen, we address the issues, we address the amount of jobs we have and the opportunities we have. And you know, if we maxed it all out and only put 10 people that can work in the program, then a lot of people would be out of luck right there. So we want to make sure we get a large participation, but then we also have the jobs available for the people too. So here's the nuts and bolts. The program runs from December 1st through November 30th annually. Completion of the hours occur at once the hours are complete. So basically, if we have some that are working in the clerk's office, they may get all their 83.3 hours in 1 month. Somebody working in another section at the DPW yard, they may only work 4 hours a week every other week. So it could take them the whole year to get all their hours. So really, that all depends on which department you're in and how they're running the program. We have a few that run through, like I said, accounting. They may go through theirs really quick, 7 hours a day, and they could be done in a few weeks. So that really just depends on when on how much you work for the department. But basically, I don't know if it's on the next slide, but everybody though, once you have your hours and get your hours, everybody receives the property tax abatement at the same time. So once you complete all your hours, you don't get the property tax abatement the next month. You get it at when it's designated by the town. So as of right now, the assessors, once we get all the hours and it's all completed, the assessor reviews. We turn in the hours that everybody completed through the assessor's office and through payroll. That happens on December 1st. Once the season's over, they input the data, and then come the third quarter, which is roughly February of the following year, is when you'll get the abatement taken out of your property taxes. Like I said, you won't get a check or anything. It will just automatically be deducted from your property tax bill. You'll get a slip in the mail saying that you're receiving a set amount of abatement, of that abatement, but you won't get an actual check or anything. Yes?
I need clarification because this is totally hogwash to me, okay? Is every department looking for help, or is it just whatever departments choose to become part of the program?
Correct, yes.
Number one.
Yes. So, like I said, we have, through the selectmen, we have 30 available positions. Now, do we have 30 available jobs? That might not be the case. So not all departments are participating. Not all departments may need the extra staff or the work that's involved in it. Some need it more than others. So the request is put out, and we put out through all the departments in the town, and asking if they need any assistance and if they would like to request some participants through this program. So we request it through departments. They get back with us, and so it's basically where we can find the jobs for them. It's kind of like a human resources job. Yeah.
And it all totals $1,000. It's not less than 1,000, or is 1,000 what everybody gets across the board,
Right.
completing the hours that they're put in?
Correct. So does everybody get 1,000 off? Only if you work the maximum amount of hours. So if you only completed 10 hours, then you're going to get correct. So we've had some that in the past that maybe didn't get onto the program until the last couple months, and so they only got 40 hours, so they got credited for 40 hours at whatever the set minimum wage rate is. Yep. Yes.
Does the school department participate in this event?
Yes. So we've had participants from the school department. We have 2 that has been participating, and like for instance, they've been prior school teachers, and they're working within the schools here in town. So basically, yes, they could if we have the positions available for them.
What would they do, like make coffees and stuff?
That depends on the department. That depends on the class and what they need. So if they request some employees or some participants, then it's really what that classes needs you for. But a lot of times it's the participants that have been in that program have prior school and teaching backgrounds. Taxable income. Yes, it is taxable. So just so you know, you are getting this is it's a state program, so you're not getting a state tax, but you will. The federal government's going to always want their money. So this is a federally taxed program. So yes, the credit says $1,000, but you're not going to get an actual $1,000. They will take the federal government will take their income tax out of there, so it'll roughly be around $800 and something dollars. So that is taken out, and also the OBRA is taken out, which I think is only like a couple dollars. It's really not much. Yeah, it's really small. It's like $5, $10 or something.
I think if you're over age 75,
Yeah.
some exemptions towards it. So basically, OBRA is the most confusing, I think, for a lot of people. So what it is you are not participating in the pension plan because you're not a full-time benefit eligible employee. But as a municipal government employee, we do not have Social Security tax taken out of our checks. So what it is it's this thing the government made up where they're still going to hit you for tax. So it's kind of this gray area, but you have to fill it out because this is a taxable income, although it's going to your real estate tax. It's really just for any type of filing purposes. But if you are over a certain age, I believe it's if you're over age 75, you do not have to participate in it. So for those of you that are over that age, that's kind of a bonus.
Yeah. Thank you, Chelsea. She didn't know she was speaking today. And also you'll receive a W-2. So when you do your taxes at the end the following year, you do have to report that because you will get issued a W-2. Yes.
Each town has their own, what is it called, OBRA?
OBRA? Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. I
know I used to work in Medfield, sub, and they have their own, so each town has their own, okay.
My brother lives in Mansfield, and they just got a raise in over $1,000. Will that possibly happen here?
It could. It possibly could.
Town meeting.
Yeah. And selectmen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Starts there.
I figured I'd ask.
Yep.
That's a good question.
That's a good question. The problem is say if we have a lot of people on the program, say if we have all the people on the program, and we're trying to find jobs for everybody, you raise the amount that everybody could receive, and then you're also raising the amount of hours everybody can work, and then by doing so, you're taking away some hours that we're trying to get participants on the program. And a lot of people do participate. One, because they like the program, they like to be involved in the town, and others also for that reason, but also they need the help. So, we'd like to be able to offer this program for a lot of people rather than just a selected few.
What you were referring to, is that the nationwide?
Yes, that's the nationwide plan.
So after 75, you don't have to participate in that?
Yeah, you do have to fill out some type of exemption, like you do have to fill out the form still, and it says, are you over age, I think it's 75, or it's either 74 and a half or 75. You just check the box, and you still have to fill out the form, but you're just exempt from it, so.
You eventually get that back anyway.
You do, yes, it is taxable though, when you do withdraw it, it's subject to taxes. Everything is.
And so, Deb, we have the applications here. And
Second side of the handout that you have here. And on top is just an overview of what we're talking about today and the steps that are involved in the application process.
So basically, it all depends on how many applicants we have. We're trying to get an idea of it today by you coming here and getting the information and applying for it. So this really does help. So if you are interested in doing so, I would take into consideration that if you do apply, that you may be offered some positions, and some of the positions might not suit you. It really all depends on when you're available, what department you go to, and you got to collaborate with that department head and whoever you're working with.
Is this something that If it's filled out after the 31st, you would not be included in the lottery, hypothetically.
Hypothetically, yes, but we'll still take applications in case something changes in the guidelines and we get more jobs or more participants.
Keep the application
Yes.
from year to year, or it's a one-time?
Yes, I still have the applications, yes.
But you need to
Yeah.
apply.
But you have to apply every year, thank you, yeah. So no matter what, so no matter what, that's stays the same. Whether you apply this year and you're on the program, or whether you didn't get on the program, you still have to apply every year. You're not automatically enrolled into the next year.
And hypothetically, the applications that you have right now, if a space comes up, would you give priority to pre-existing applications? Or with the lottery, you don't know? I don't know how your lottery
That we'll have to see once we get the applications correct, right?
are there.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Quick question about the trust.
The trust.
Is that the entire deal or just first and last pages, or can anyone answer that, or should I ask somebody else? Trusts are usually kind of lengthy, a lot of boilerplate in the middle.
Yes.
Just need like a first and a last.
Well, that we'd verify through the assessor's office. I'm not, I wouldn't say I would qualify to go through your whole trust.
The assessor.
Right. And that's what we do when we get the application. And if there is a question on it, especially when it comes to trust, we take it right to the assessor's office and bug them.
That's a good question.
It's a very good question.
Carrie, do I put down on here that I've been volunteering here, but I'm not a paid volunteer, I'm doing it on my own? Do I need to put that down that?
That would, if you want to continue with that
If you,
work, if that's your.
yeah, you
Okay.
could. And if you've been a tax work off volunteer, certainly note that there for us,
Nice.
right? Any other questions?
Oh, great. No, thank you all for coming here today and showing the interest. I really appreciate it. My office is just right around the corner, so if you ever any questions for me, Carrie and Deb are obviously right here in the front. They'll be able to help you or myself just right around the corner. If you have any questions, come see me.
Who's in charge of the lottery?
Ooh, good question.
The COA?
This is a collaborative effort this year.
Yes. So there'll be a public drawing.
There would be a public a meeting
Yes.
for a public lottery, should one be needed, if we got more applicants than we had slots.
Okay. Thank you.
Should we bring the applications to you?
You can, one of us three, yes.
Can we begin today?
Sure, absolutely, yes.
From now until the 31st.
There you go.
So make sure you fill out the bottom portion where it just says lottery on it. That we'll use in case we have a lottery. We'll tear off that bottom section right there. Some have chosen not to participate, so if there is no name and information on that lottery section, then we'll just consider you didn't want to participate in the lottery.
Because that's how our names can go in a fishbowl.
Yes.
If you have individual questions that you're not comfortable asking in this kind of setting,
Yes.
we're available. Let us know.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming.